Hi, welcome to my tutorial where I'm going to show you ways of using the healing brush tool, the clone tool, and some layer masking and so on to edit this rather lovely photograph. This is a real life photograph. This isn't something that's been put together in order to demonstrate these tools. This is a real job. So let's make a start. There are a number of things I'm going to do. Small edits like this vein in the eye, that grey speck in the corner, a small point, but that wispy hair I think just goes too far. It's all distractions that you can do without. But the big project is to get rid of this strap, which as you can see will need replacing with the hair and the skin and also part of this mask. So I'm going to have to construct it from another part of the mask, which I'll do later on. As ever, work from an additional layer, not the original background. So we can always go back, and we can also use this top layer as we can mask it and stuff and have stuff coming through from the bottom. So it's always useful to duplicate the layer, call it background copy, call it anything you like, and that's the one we're going to work on. So let's switch off the background so there's no mistake. Okay. So first of all we need to zoom into this eye by holding down the Command or Control key on a PC and the spacebar. Whatever tool you're in, of course, changes to the zoom, drag diagonally across the area you want to look at, and it fills the screen. There's that little vein. There's that bit of grey in the corner there. Now, we're going to use for these two the Spot Healing Brush tool. And as you see, the size of the brush at the moment is a little bit too big. So I use my square brackets on the keyboard. The left hand one reduces the size of the brush, the right hand square bracket increases the size of the brush. So anyway, let's reduce the size of that, straight over the line, and there it's gone. Lovely, perfect. Make sure when you're using this tool, the Spot Healing Brush tool, that you've got the Content Aware button checked at the top there. That works the best. This little thing here is a bit more tricky, actually. I could either use the cloning tool or use the healing brush tool by selecting an area and then going over it. Or I'm going to try just one big blob and see if we can get it reduced. Let's increase the size of the brush, hold down, and although up close this doesn't look all that good, I think when we pull out, it's going to be okay. That's going to be fine. So that's those two. Then we've got this hair here, which is aggravating me. So I just hold the mouse down, go across it, and that's that. Lovely tool, this wonderful tool. Now, the main event. This strap and the reconstruction of this part of the mask. Oh no, there's one other small edit I've forgotten. There. We've got a piercing with no earring in it. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Now I'm happy. So let's zoom out. That's the spacebar and the Alt key or Option key. Now this is tricky because you've got a very large area of black here, and this reconstruction will be copying a bit of this glitter from another part of the mask. There are a number of ways to do this. You can fill an area with a context-aware fill, and that can work quite well. Or we can use the healing brush tool, which works in a very similar way to the clone tool, the stamp clone tool, where you select an area from which to copy, and then you copy it. Again, I've got a very small brush there, so let's pull this right up. Now, I tend to use this one a bit more than the fill option or even the patch tool because I want to pick up bits from lots of different areas. You've got to be really careful with this one. So to start with, we'll put some of the hair over this area here. So I hold my Alt key down, move further up the head here, and drag over the black area. That's looking good. Now I'm going to move down here and get the edge of the hair and move that over the black area there. So it's not 100% opaque because I want to build this up. I need to keep building up so it doesn't look unnatural. It's the worst thing with the clone tool and this healing brush tool, is that people tend to keep repeating the same pixels and it really starts to look like what it is, which is a copy. This is going reasonably well. Move a little darker area here, because this is a shadow around the ear. That's looking fine. Now, if we do a Command or Control 0 and pull out, and we'll see how that's going. It's looking pretty good. That's the easy bit. Pick up a bit here, work it down. Always keep an eye on where your source point cross is, because sometimes you'll end up in an area you really shouldn't be in, and you'll be copying pixels you don't want to copy. Okay, I think that looks good. Then we've got this area. Now what we need to do is to find another bit of the metal, of the mask, and put that over here. So what I'm going to do is to use my lasso tool and do a polygon lasso by holding down the Alt key or Option key. Let's just grab this little bit here, that bit selected, and I'm going to create layer by copy, Command J. Okay, now you see I've got a new layer here. If I switch off the layer I'm working on, there's that little piece. Choose my move tool, and let's move this up here. Now it's quite a bit of manipulation that we're going to have to do here to get it right, but we're on to a good start. From the edit menu, I choose transform and warp. This is a lovely tool. I can just bend it into place. Try and make it look as natural as possible. This bit needs to bend down over here. It's not going to be perfect, but we can improve it quite a bit. Don't worry about the edges, because we're going to map those out using a mask. Okay, hit return, and that's applied. Looks a bit weird, don't worry. Under the layer menu, choose layer mask, reveal all. That means everything is showing. Now my foreground and background colours on the palette there have gone from whatever colour was there to black and white. If I paint now with black, that will mask this layer. If I paint with white, it will show the layer. So I choose my paintbrush, painting with black, coming up to the edge here. See a little bit of that mask still showing. Well, we can get rid of that in a minute, of the strap. Okay. That's not a bad little... Yeah. Right, well we've got our little patch in place there. Now what I'm going to do is to use a little bit of the cloning tool at this point. I want to increase this bright edge up to the near to where the patch is, and to get rid of the rest of that black strap. So the nearest area is probably going to be about there. And if I carefully... Now this works differently from the healing brush tool. Of course this will make an exact copy. If I pull out again, it's looking a little better. Let's come in and pick up another area here, reduce the size of my brush, come close to there, increase it, reduce the hardness. See, I'm always picking out from different areas so that it can't be identified as a clone. Pull out. We're getting there, we're getting there. This needs to be a little bit softer up the top here, not such a hard edge. reducing the hardness of the brush now. Incidentally, I'm using a Wacom tablet, so that helps because it means I can change the pressure. Doing this sort of thing with a mouse is never easy. Okay, I think we're sort of there. Now, we've got a shadow underneath the mask here, which is a result of the strap that was there, which is no longer there, so that needs to be gotten rid of. Again, the cloning tool is more useful for this. I've gone right up here, and if I move down to this area very carefully and just remove that deep shadow, reduce the size of my brush, select that area, just to make it a little bit more realistic. Very soft brush. Okay, let's zoom out again. How's that looking? That's looking pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is to merge down my layer 1, which is the layer with just the little patch on it from the mask. So from the layers menu, tell it to merge down. So now it's merged onto my background copy. Now if you want to see a before and after, that's what we started with. And that's the final piece. Thanks for watching. To see more of my work, visit www.shelleyknott.co.uk or follow me on Twitter at PhotoEditGuru.